Good to see everybody. How's everybody doing today? Good.
Thank you.
Good. Obviously respecting the process that we're going through right now with the roster cut downs, and it's not going to be finalized till 3. So we're just going through that process right now. I wanted to thank the players for a really good training camp. I want to thank those guys for going through this process, and you meet with these guys during the course of the day. And guys think they're going to be on the active roster, and then you're telling them they're not. They're going to be on the practice squad, and it's a disappointing, time for them. And I understand that as I meet with those guys, and Ryan and I meet with those guys as we go through, telling them face to face of where we see they are in terms of their opportunities going forward. And those are some hard conversations at times. You want to be encouraging to those guys and uplifting to those guys as you go through this process, because we do feel that a lot of those guys have an opportunity to help our team in the future, and so that's the process we're going through right now. Finalizing practice squad and all those things, and we'll figure that out. And Ryan and Ian will be up on the podium tomorrow at 2:00, I believe, once it's finalized and we're squared away. The other thing that, the injuries, everybody looks to be healthy right now. It looks good. The one guy that's still week to week is Tevin. So, again, we'll work through that process as we go. And, then obviously you guys saw that we, traded for Feeney, so Dan. And he's going to be in later today to get the physical, so I'm not going to comment too much more on him. Obviously, he's played all 3 spots inside and all that. We see that and read that, so. With that, I'll open up to questions.
Just in addition to his versatility, what was some of the attraction to bring you Dan in?
Yeah, just like we said, the versatility in there. You got an inside guy that you feel that can play all spots and back up and be a good starter there. So that's really it, and it's kind of like having a good swing tackle, and that's really what the thought process was there.
When you said that everybody's healthy, but Tevin's week to week, should we interpret that as you expect them to be good to go?
That's what they're saying. Yep, everything looks good. We're getting guys in. We had a nice long walkthrough meetings yesterday. We got the same thing today, and guys are looking good there, and they're ramping up. Guys that have been out are starting to do a lot of land-based stuff and getting into speeds and cuts and moving around. So we'll see where it goes, but it looks good right now.
Matt, if Cody's healthy, will he go back to center, or do you anticipate him staying at left guard?
Yeah, we're going to have to look at that once we get the roster finalized. Because there's a lot of moving parts right now that we're looking at. Every position, for depth and potential otherwise. But right now we can't really say that. We'll see.
Obviously, Tyson is a guy who has earned a lot of confidence here in the last month. Are you ready to make him your week 1 backup quarterback? That's the plan at this point?
Yeah, I would say that, again, just kind of letting the roster finalize itself. We certainly feel great about where he is. He's put his best foot forward, and we're excited where we see him going in the future.
On a bigger picture level, what do you challenge him to do within this season, now that he's earned this opportunity?
I would just say that, he's, really just to improve and get better. It's when you're a young player like that, you have to improve and get better every single week. And he's going to learn as he goes through the process of how the game plan changes every week. And that's probably a lot different than what he's used to. You put a training camp install in and you're going through these concepts that you have, the runs, and then the play action comes off of it, and the screen game we're putting in, and the quick game, the empty game, and so forth. And you kind of go through that process during week 1, week 2, week 3 of training camp, and all of a sudden now you get to a game week. And you're like, say, hey, we're going to pull this off the board, we're going to change this, adjust this. And you got to learn all those concepts, but they may look different to the defense. And that's how we put them in. So he's going to have to learn how to do that process.
And with your pass rushers, your leading pass rushers, DeMarcus Walker, Yannick Ngakoue, how much did you actually see from them, given how much time they missed during the preseason?
Yeah, it was limited, right? You didn't really see Walker. In the training camp, he was injured. We saw Yanni a couple, in practice. We saw him in a little limited action there, so it's limited right now. But would you wish you would have saw more? Sure, definitely. Wish they were going the whole time, but it wasn't. That wasn't in the cards this particular training camp. So those guys are going to be, and they have been working with the training staff to get their conditioning right, to get their levels right, and then also working with the coaches to get their technique right as we go through the lead up to the first game.
Do you have confidence that that's going to work, that those guys are gonna be who you think they'll be, or do you not know that based on how little you saw of them?
I mean, based on where they are right now, we like where they are. And it is where it is right now. So we got to make sure we do a great job of ramping them up conditioning wise and getting them ready to play for the first game.
You guys make the decision to cut a player who's got guaranteed money in PJ, somebody who has experience, in part because you liked what an undrafted rookie did. What message does that send to the team in terms of how you guys will judge it based on performance and not money or some of the extracurriculars?
Yeah, I mean, we say that all the time, right? And I think that just shows that it's true, because we're going to play the best guys that we feel are going to help our team, and we're going to make decisions that are best that we feel are best at the time for the Chicago Bears, and I think we held true to that, and we're going to try to do that most times, and sometimes you're not able to do that at times, but and this time we were, so it was worked out.
You say that, a lot of coaches say that, not a lot of coaches follow through on it. The actual action does send a message to the team.
Yeah, we try to be very mindful with all our actions, and how we communicate with our players, how we talk to them, how we coach them, how we visit with them about how Ryan and myself visit with those guys. Ryan, of course, first with the contracts, and be very upfront and honest with those guys. And like I said, put everything on the table and just go eye to eye and tell them where it is. And it's good when you can do that. And we do that most of the time.
Matt, with the quarterback room as is, no matter like active roster, practice squad, are you comfortable with the amount of experience in there, or do you think that utilizing this team's position in the waiver order might lead to bringing in somebody else that might be a cut elsewhere that might have veteran leadership to bring in behind Justin?
Yeah, I mean that's a good thought. I mean, we are certainly looking at that option. We are looking at other options too, but that's certainly a good thought when you can have somebody with experience in there to help younger quarterbacks. That's certainly something that we've talked about.
Man, for most of the last 2-3 weeks or more, you've had 10, 12, maybe more key guys out of practice. And now I think you're saying just Kevin is the only one who's kind of in doubt for week 1. What does that say just about the process of preseason training camp for you? Is that just a result, are those injuries or whatever just a result of just harder practice? I mean, tougher practices, or what do you think that says just about your process of going through a training camp and trying to get your team as ready for the season
Right.
through
Yeah.
tough practice?
Understood. I would say that we were middle of the road in terms of injury. We looked at the data in terms of the league this year, and so we were right there where average it was. Every year is different. Sometimes you get certain types of injuries one year, and sometimes you don't. But you're still dealt with the ability to get guys ready to go, and everybody's fighting that through the course of the league, and we're no different. And we just got to do a good job. The coaches got to do a great job, and the training staff's got to do a great job. The conditioning staff's got to do a great job leading up to the first game, and that's just the hand you're dealt.
But do you, in conjunction with that, are you seeing benefits from the intensity that you went at practice in training camp? You see that as like I can't remember who was it said. Yeah, I think it was Mooney said you practice harder than other teams and stuff like that. Do you? And are you seeing a benefit of that?
Well, that's just how we do it. We either go or we don't go. So we're going to go very intense when we're going. We had the ramp up period that the NFL puts in there, and we were really good with that. We were much better this year than we were last year in terms of that, in terms of being mindful of the reps, the intensities, and we talked about that early on with the color system that we used, and we thought that was beneficial to us for being better in terms of injury during training camp. And we're always going to be intense when we're going though, when it's that green day. So.
Matt, why do you think it didn't work out with Alex Leatherwood?
Yeah, it's whenever it doesn't work out with a player, you're always disappointed. As a head coach, as a GM, when we pick a guy or bring a guy in, or whether that might be acquire a guy, we're always very hopeful that it works out, and we're disappointed when it doesn't. And it's really a part of everybody. And it just wasn't in the cards for him, and and for us at this time, and it's unfortunate, and we're disappointed.
With Nate Davis in particular, he's only done a handful of full practices all camp. How do you know he's gonna be ready? I know you can hope that he's ready, but are there signs you look for? And the fact that he's been doing this a while, does that help your confidence?
Yeah, so we're just looking at the phases where he is now. So he's in the steps that says he's going to be ready. I don't know what's going to happen with the other steps because I can't tell the future. But right now he's in line for where he needs to be, and we'll see where it goes from here.
With a player like that who hasn't been on the field though all that much, can you tell the buy-in to the hits principle, to the intensity, to the level of which you expect your guys to be playing, since you haven't really seen that from him in your system?
Yeah, I mean I played against him for 4 years or whatever it was, from 18 to 20, 21. So I know what kind of player he is. I've seen what kind of player he is. The intensity he brings to the line, and when he's been in, he's looked great. He's been in there looking good on his pass sets, his jumps to the second level in the run game. So he's looked really good in there, and like I said, the process will take care of itself, and he'll be ready to go. But my past experiences with him, he's our kind of guy.
Now, what's your involvement in the waiver claim process? Is that something you just wait for Ryan to give you who's there, or how much back and forth is there in these next 24 hours as you're piecing it together collectively?
Yeah, it's like anything we do. It's like all the facets of our organization. We are communicative, and we're back and forth, watching tape of guys, giving it to me, giving it to the coordinator, giving it to the position coach, asking for us to rank those guys. Some guys, aren't even on the wire yet. So we're always evaluating that. We're doing that at several positions right now, and continue to do that throughout the night. We did it all last night. We're doing it again this morning. So we'll figure it out as we go.
Pretty frantic in this short span.
No, it's organized. It's organized with Ryan and Ian and the rest of the guys. We're very organized with what we're looking at, and methodical how we go about our business, and it's detailed. And the guys are doing a good job.
When you have the first waiver claim, does that change a little bit of the conversation as opposed to if you were in the middle of the pack somewhere?
Oh, it's good to be first. We get to pick, so that's a good thing.
Matt, going back to the quarterback room, when you guys were evaluating Tyson and PJ, what have you seen from Tyson over the past month that made you guys comfortable cutting a guy like PJ?
What did you see? What in the last month? I didn't hear the last month.
That made you comfortable letting PJ go?
Like we said, it was open competition, right? And it was created. It was created by the players. The players created that. Tyson, really created it in practice, and he did it and created it in the games. And what we saw from him was just execution, poise, accuracy, and the ability to move the ball down the field. And again, he's put his best foot forward.